This is Nyoti. I'm recording this video on what the community calls face sculpts. It's a really bad term, but I've seen a lot of people pay a lot for these things, when in reality it's something that you don't need much knowledge to learn how to do, and it's relatively simple. Like, the people who sell these are amateurs, and you shouldn't really pay so much money for badly done work. Like, most sculpts, quote unquote, I see like break vanilla faces, so I don't know how these modders end up breaking everything, because it's super easy to not break everything. So I'm going to go through the steps. I will assume that you know how to navigate in Texels UI, and that you do have some very basic knowledge of Blender. Blender is the software we're going to use. You just need to be able to navigate the UI, import, export, and know some terms like know what the face is, know what the normal is, know what the vertex is. Very basic stuff, no details. So I'm going to Texels. I'm already viewing a face right here. This is an Aura female, number 2. I'm just going to hit export. That's the first step. That's all you do in Texels, and then we're going to go back for the import. So next is going to Blender. Now, before I get to Blender, I will mention that I will be using some add-ons. I don't know if the add-ons I have installed are going to be used actually, because I have a bunch of add-ons installed. If I do, I'll mention it. This video is kind of recorded live. I have not done a prep work. And yeah, that's about it. Let's move to Blender. Okay, I've opened Blender. I cleared my scene. Like, my UI is a bit customized, but there should be no problem. I have an empty scene, no objects at all. Going to File, Import, FBX. Then I move to my Documents, Text Tools, Saved, Character Face. The one I exported was Aura Female, I believe. Yeah, 3D. Before I hit Import, I'm going to change a few things. You have to, in the armature, ignore leaf bones and automatic bone orientation. Just make sure you do that. Okay, now we have a face here along with some bones. The face looks kind of whack, but that's no problem because we're going to clean it up. You select face, you go to the material, edit, and down there should be viewport display, blending mode, turn it to alpha hast for all the pieces. Yeah, great. Well, there should be 3 materials: the etc., the eyes, and the skin itself. Great. Of course, you can just use it in flat, but in case you want to see textures, because when you edit the face, you do want to see if you have stretching. So we're going like that. The materials are done. Then, because the textures exports in this weird hierarchy, personally, I delete this thing. I don't like it at all. I select everything, pressing A. Then I use Control A. All transforms, delete these dummy objects. They're not doing absolutely anything except clutter the UI. Great. Then I'll do the same thing in here. I'll press Control P to clear parent, keep transform. Great. Now we have the skeleton down there and the messes. I believe you can add them in a collection. Can we? New collection. Put them in there. Great. Face. There you go. So we have the pieces of the face in the default naming scheme from Texels. Or the skeleton. This is just to make it cleaner to work with, because I always see people having a mess in their scenes and they send me their files. I have no idea what to make out of it because it's full of copies, multiple skeletons, multiple of everything. If you input something else and you get a second skeleton, delete it and just go to the armature and assign the original one. You don't make a mess. Like, keep it tidy, people. Keep it tidy. Next, what I'm going to do is that vanilla messes have various data that, like, this is the face, right? Part 1. Part 1.1 is actually some extra pieces from some extra pieces of the face that are separated from the main one. I don't really want them to be separated. Square Enix has a reason to do that, but when you go into modding, you don't use that tool, that function. So you're going to turn them into one piece. So select both of them, press Ctrl J, you convert them into one. Rename it. Keep the numbering intact, don't change the numbers. Like, the face should stay as part 1.0. the pointer zero is not needed, but I'm just gonna put it. Part 2 is the horns. We're not gonna edit them, but I will put the name there to be easier for me to work. Now part 3 is an add-on, like some extra scales. We're not gonna touch them. Part 5 is part 4 is the nose, 5 is the elbow. Like, we're not going to touch this. Now part 2 is some parts of the eyebrows, I believe, and the eyelashes. There's your eye, there's another eye. Oh wait, these are not the eyes, these are actually the limbal rings. Anyways, everything in here is part of the etc. group. We're not really going to edit them, but you can merge them as well. You can merge a few of them, like the eyelashes. You can turn them into one piece if you want with Control Z again. It's 2.3. Part of eyebrows, 2.6. Another part of eyelashes, more eyelashes. I think you can merge all of that. Honestly, there shouldn't be a problem. But I'm going to leave them as they are. Okay, now I have a clean face. I can work on this. So we're going to move to the next part where I will actually do some edits, but no, actually before that, we're going to talk about the save keys, which is the face options in game on the character creation. This is how to not break them, to keep them intact. So now save keys plus one part I forgot. When you press tab, you go into edit mode, or you can sub mode there depending on your selection. Now our edits will be mainly done on the face, and we'll do some trick later for these extra pieces to be modified along with the face. So you have these save keys. When you load the save key, let me find, okay, let's pick this, because Square Enix uses these names. You should not change the names, just keep them intact, but you can figure out what is to like. SHP stands for save, then you have cheeks, brows, mouth, NSC's nose. What else do we have? Eye is for the eyes, iris is for the iris eyes. So let's say mouth, you want to change the lips. You have A, B, C. That means there are 4 options in game, not 3, because the default one is the option A. The one with underscore A is the option 1. The one with underscore B is the option 2. The one with underscore C is the option 4. I lost count. Great. The B is 3. The A is 2. The C is 4. This is what happens when you choose different lips in game. Now you may see some shading issues, but you should ignore them because in the final export there will not be any of this, but you do want the saves. So now, when you get to edit mode, I believe we have some, you press O, you get to proportional editing. Too smooth. You see some parts are disconnected. I forgot to connect them earlier. We're going to connect them now. Select everything with A, press M. By distance, make sure that your distance is something tiny. In this case, is 0.01 centimeters. If you don't have centimeters, if you have inches, or you have something else, make sure that you don't actually collapse vertices of the face, but you only collapse overlapping ones. Now everything is in one piece. And the lips are not connected. This is actually important. Make sure that your lips are in one piece. Great, we have the face in one piece. And what else do we have is that you can edit particular parts of the face, the facial options. So you have like 4 quote-unquote face sculpts in one mode, or even more, or just adjust the one that you're actually using and not other ones. So let's say your character is using the lips 4, then you can just come here, edit the lips 4, and it will not edit the other lips. If I click this button, it's going to the symmetry. I will show it later. Let's say you want to just make them a little wider, tiny bit, the smile or something. Let's say lips upper. I'm not really doing some proper editing right now. I'm just messing around. Now, what happens is if you import this in game, these lips are going to go into the face option for the lips 4. They're not going to load into other options. That keeps your character unique, and it doesn't cause everyone else to be exactly the same. And it's really important to not break the faces. So we have save keys. Don't touch them. I mean, don't delete them. Don't rename them. You can edit them, and all the edits you do in edit mode when you have a save key selected will be exclusive to that key. They will not edit the base face. They will edit that facial option. If you want to edit the base face, then you just edit the base face into the bases. It's simple as that. One more part is that other pieces also have shape keys. For example, you see that these scales here that you can toggle on and off, I believe, by the vanilla game, they also have a shape key. They have the base and the cheeks. They only get modified when you have the second option for cheeks, and that's when we do. As you see, they're not synced. Like when I load the cheek A here, it doesn't load on the face. So if I edit the face, I would also have to edit these scales as well as these scales as well as these scales to also copy that edit, that deformation. There is an easy way to do this. I will show it later, but for now you can just do it manually, like just go into the shape, grab stuff, do it, in order to make sure that everything matches, and don't do it randomly. Okay, so next part, I'm going to go into how to edit. Well, since I said that you should have some knowledge, I will not go into in-depth. It will be fast. Like, you're either going to edit mode, press G for grab, have some proportional editing on. You can adjust the strength. Oh my god, nightmare. With symmetry on, unless you want something to not be symmetrical, of course. Like, just do something like that. Or you can go into sculpt mode. I do not suggest this for people that don't know what they're doing. The exact same thing. Now, I have selected face 1. This is the grab brush. This is the only one you're going to use. You're not really sculpting, you're just grabbing things with a brush. And you can just grab, oh, you also have symmetry on. You can just do whatever you want here in the face. This also applies with the shape keys, like earlier. In this case, I edited the bases. In this case, I'm editing the brows. I'm not editing anything. I have to load them first. You can pick a key to edit, like nose A. Great. When you load the nose B, you're gonna get this effect. Is this great? No, it is not. But we're going to keep it for testing reasons, like to show you how I load this thing in game. Oh my god, this looks terrible. Great. Go back to layout. So in this case, I have a custom nose for the option B. Wow, amazing. And something with a smile for the base face. Amazing. Next, we're going to import this one to export from Blender and put it in game. Okay, next, you go to File, Export FBX. I'm in the texture saved folder. I'll just name it temp. Now, use these export settings. No bake animation. This thing in armature, only deform bones. Don't add leaf bones. Keep it like that. Don't ask too much why. Just keep it like that. Hit export. Great. Then I have to. Oh, I don't have textures open. Okay, so I'm back into textiles. I'm cutting the video because I don't want to show my desktop or programs or whatever for privacy reasons. I'll hit import. Go back into the default face. Now I'm into saved folder. That's the temp file that I exported earlier. I'm going to keep everything original because we edited something that came out of textiles. So the settings are already correct. Just hit import. Oh, great. I forgot to export something. Amazing. You have to have everything selected. Not whatever I had. Go again. So close that. Go back to it. Pick a file. Hit import. Okay. So you see we have the lip edit, the slight lip edit that I did, and we also have the deformation shapes, which is the face options. I forgot which one I edited. I think it was nose A. Great, it's nose A. So back to textiles. If I select nose A, which is the second option for the nose, it's going to load that one. I don't want to see that. No, I don't want to see that one either. So anyway, this is how you do not only sculpt, but you don't break shapes, you don't break anything. You can do whatever you want. it is really easy. You just have to watch 30 minutes of Blender videos on how to move stuff around. And not only you do whatever you want, you also keep everything intact. You don't break the faces, you don't break edits. There will be no holes, because I see all these face sculpts with holes. It will all just work like the vanilla face, with slightly different. It will work with your makeup, or it can work with an existing custom face that you have. If your face did, let's say you had a custom face from somewhere that did not have the vanilla options, you can actually add these things, but if you don't know what you're doing, I don't suggest, like, you can press the plus button, add something that has these names based on the vanilla ones, and add the option, like, because if you had the custom face, maybe you don't have any of these, and then you can just add something like shape pro a to add whatever is going to load in the second option for eyebrows. That's for another time. I do. Great. Yeah, that is. If I feel like it, I might make a video on the high poly faces, because people are also posting some quote-unquote high poly faces. They're really not high poly faces. They are more like pressing shift, no, not shift, is it control D? No, it's subdivide, either way. They're just selling you this thing. They're selling you that thing. Just press 2 buttons and sell it. Now, in this case, you have some shading issues. It takes 5 minutes to fix them. I will not do it in this video, but people are selling you a 5-minute edit where they press 2 buttons and they sell it as high poly face for $30 or $40. Don't get scammed. Like what? This one, I'm gonna charge $10 for this one. This is gross. This is really gross. You don't do that. Okay, goodbye.